Get everything set up here for this live stream. For this Q&A thing. I can see the chat and everything else. I'm going to give you an update about the whole situation. I'll update that. I'll do that part, that one part later. That's why I need to set up a stream here. Sorry, it's taking a while. Give me a few minutes here. All right, I can see the chat and everything now. Okay. All right. This is in regards to the situation that happened at the hospital. All right. There was a phone call a couple days ago from the head honcho of the hospital, just so y'all know. She formally she gave me an apology. She apologized to what happened, and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Just to let you know. I'm able to go back to the hospital still and everything else, just for any reason. Just to let you know all that's going on. And I still haven't found an attorney. I've been calling around. Nobody's returned my calls. There's not even a chance to even look at what's going on or anything. Or just to call me up and say, hey, what's up, you know. To provide the information they needed, but they're not giving me any call. I've called three attorneys so far. Still looking. So I haven't gave up yet on that situation. And no calls from any attorney yet. So what's going on? Let's start with some people's comments on my couple of the videos. With like Carrie Cole. Let's zoom in better. My eyesight is terrible right now. Oh, the heck. Alright. Carrie Cole. So she said, no one made you go to the hospital. You went there willingly. It's not the hospital's job for responsibility to provide transportation home. I'm sorry about your situation, but to blame Henry Ford, just not okay. Well, first off, I didn't say it was the hospital's responsibility whatsoever. What came down, since you didn't obey again, some people didn't pay attention to the video and what's going on. I didn't say that it was the hospital's responsibility whatsoever. Okay? And I did not say that, and I didn't indicate that in any shape or form. Let's get that clear. I was there about 6 hours stranded. And you're saying about willing, okay, what do you want me to do? Bleed out? Because I was bleeding really bad from a cut. Possibly might need stitches. Okay, I went there willingly because I had an emergency, for one. Okay? What am I going to do? Just bleed out? It could have been a very bad wound, which, come to find out, wasn't that bad as I thought it was. Especially where it was kind of hard to see where it was. It was behind my melon, where my private parts are. It's my, let's say, ball sack. Okay, I don't have no, it gets you to it, no problem. My ball sack. And it's grown so huge, to the point, it's the size of a melon. Basically a cantaloupe, which I explained in my other videos of the situation. So when I looked at it, it looked like a good cut, and I was bleeding really bad. I was in a pool of blood when I woke up. I cut myself on my bed frame. for one. That's what happened, and I was bleeding really bad. I woke up in a pool of blood. I didn't realize the cut was that bad until I woke up in a pool of blood in the first place. So yeah, what would you imagine was going to happen? What are you going to do? What was your choice? Okay, stay in the hospital, stay in your house, maybe bleed to death. Okay, not do anything, and it might be it's one big superficial cut wound, very nice little wound cut and bleeding out. I was bleeding all the way to the hospital, bleeding there when I was walking into the when they got me in off the gurney, when I got to the bed. Blood trail. Okay. All right. Okay. Basically, and I called what happened. Basically, what it was, I called my insurance company. That was the first thing I called. The insurance company provides transportation for people like me in a situation like that at the hospital. And it said it would take a couple hours to find me a ride. And I told them what my needs were, what I needed because of my size. First off, I needed a van or SUV. And this was stated to the operator, to the insurance company. Okay, it was the first place I called. It was my insurance company after I got discharged from the hospital. And 2 hours later, sitting in their lobby, they sent the transportation to me. They sent me a Tesla Model 3. Okay, a Tesla Model 3. Look it up. I was not going to be able to fit in that car. It's a small little car. And I told them I need in a van or an SUV because of my size. Okay? That's what was going, and that was like that for that first 2 hours. I was waiting for that transportation to show up. Okay? And when they finally showed up, is what they sent me. And again, the conversation with the insurance, just trying to get to an operator on my insurance card, getting them, calling them up, everything is a pain in the butt. And it takes about a half hour just to talk to somebody on the phone. About a half hour. Okay? Just to get somebody on the phone. You got to give them all your information to the automated operator, your insurance card number, your phone number, your birth date, all that stuff, and you have to say yes, no, no, yes, all of this stuff. And then when you get to pass through some recording that get on a program, this, blah, 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 it has nothing to do with what I'm trying to do. And I have to wait for that entire recording. I can't skip it, can't do nothing. It's about like a 5-minute recording telling me about a program. It has nothing to do with what I need for transportation whatsoever. Something to do with DHS, something like that. And after I get past that, I gotta still go through the steps trying to get to the transportation. It's very frustrating. And people know if they have gone through the same process and everything else. Okay? So, yeah. And after that, and I was like, well, and they sent me an Uber, and I told them I needed the XL, and they said, and then they told that person in that car, told me, so we're going to send you an XL, which waited for another half hour again, and nobody showed up. And like, I'm waiting in this lobby, practically exposed at this point. Well, still covered the sheet, but somewhat exposed. My ball sack hanging out of my shorts. So how big it is. Worried about getting in trouble for any decent exposure at the time. And again, as I mentioned, if you get in trouble for a decent exposure by the police and you go through the court system, if the DA wants to do it, they can put you on the sex offender list because of that reason. You can give them, it doesn't matter what excuse you give them or explanation. It doesn't matter. You don't want to be on the sex offender list, and it screws your whole entire life up. You might as well say your life is pretty much over at that point. Job be a problem again, which I'm disabled, or housing, or anything like that, it'd be a problem. Because your life is no longer private. You're out in the open on the sex offender list, where it tells you where you live and everything else. Your privacy is gone. Totally gone. Okay? Just give you that, I'll get that out of the way. On the next thing, yes. Oh, okay. And then people are saying, there's a couple of persons said, why did you try Uber? Which I did. I even showed that in a previous video. And every time I asked for an Uber, about 6 times, and I showed it in the video, failed every time to find a driver. And it had timestamps and everything. I showed that in that video. And it's in my, I think it was my last Q&A video. You can go check it out. I'll put it probably in the end of this video and a link for the end screen. So, who knows? This is live, just to let you know if there anybody's on watching this right now or later, or just you want a question right now, you can put it in. So, but I'm going to put this, again, everybody can watch this video when they want to. Later after the fact. And that said, I tried 6 times. Even Lyft, I tried Lyft also. And no ride whatsoever available for her to come and get me. This was on the day after Christmas. Just to let you all know. And I tried a couple other transportation companies in town here. I tried Name Your Fare. I called them up. It was one of the ones I called first after that situation. And they stated they didn't have a ride to accommodate my size. They didn't have a van or SUV to be able to get home. That was out of the question. The original other company was originally called Starlight or City Cab, which is another name now. I can't remember. They go by certain hours of the day, and I called them about like 4 o'clock, and or close to 4 o'clock, and nobody answered the phone whatsoever. Nobody answered the phone. Again, they have a van, because the last time I got a ride from the laundromat from them the last time, we're not too far from the hospital, just a few blocks from the hospital. Not too far a distance. It would have cost me maybe $10 just to get home. To them. Again, nobody answered the phone. So, there we go. And I called family. Also. And nobody, my uncle, didn't want to, he didn't take me seriously. And to the point where, when they did the staff, before that happened, when I asked the supervisor, I didn't say they were responsible for the ride or anything like that. Before I got to the supervisor, I asked the staff, can they provide me a patient advocate or a social worker? Which did not happen whatsoever. They did say they didn't have any available whatsoever, or they don't have any at all anymore. I asked that. Then it came down to the point where when I was asking the security guards to get, because my mobility issues, like walking in, especially having a sheet holding on me, the security guards there, where I was in the lobby check-in area for the ER, where you go in the entrance, where you have to go through the metal detector. I was in there, one of the chairs right there. And I asked one of the security guards if they can go get somebody in the waiting lobby area to help me out with that situation. And he was being absolutely rude to me. Completely rude to me. I wasn't being rude to him at all. I was being completely nice to him and everything else. That's when I was asking about a social worker and a patient advocate situation. Then it came to the point where they said, they gave me a couple numbers called those numbers. One didn't work, and the other one, it was to an answer machine. And it didn't get nowhere there. So I went and asked a supervisor to see that she can help me out. Same thing, same situation. That she wasn't able, she offered me a bus pass, which I can't do because my situation where I can be exposed to possible kids or anything like that. If I get on a public bus, I would have to transfer her. If I get on a public bus, if the sheet doesn't fall off, I still have to transfer to another bus down the transfer station. I have to walk between buses. Chances the sheet will fall off. And wow, you get to see all glory. Okay? And nobody's going to understand that And they're gonna, it's like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And their kids are gonna freak out. No parent's gonna understand it. A lot of parents are not gonna understand the situation. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna take that risk. And that's what you could offer me as a bus pass. And I told her and explained the whole situation to her. I couldn't do that. Again, I was trying to find some social worker or somebody can help me there. That's what they used to have when I was going to the hospital. A lot of times they used to have a social worker you can talk to, or somebody there on there in staff for that purpose. Apparently, they don't have that anymore. Then when I got to the point. I was so frustrated. I was holding everything back as much as I can, as I could, and everything else. And as I got to that point with her, I kept on repeating myself. And after that, I told her, just go away. Let me continue to try to find a ride. That's what I basically did. Not. I'd say it wasn't too much of a nice way. I was a little rude. Yes, I was a little tiny rude on that situation, but it just got to the point where before I got any further, I didn't want to blow off on her. I just said, just go away. Let me do what I got to do. Try to find a ride. That was it. And I told her I've been here for about 6 hours, almost, when it came down to it. Almost 6 hours at that time. And then she comes back with the security guard, and basically they're telling me I have to be out by 5 o'clock, saying the lobby is going to close, which the lobby, that ER lobby, never closes. That's 24/7 whatsoever. That never closes. The main lobby, yes, that closes. And everything else. And it got to the point where it got down to the last minute almost, and I was frantically trying to find a ride home. Frantically. And because at the point, she told me I'm going to have me, because I asked the security guard. First thing I asked him about that. Are you willing? I got to the point where I told him, because they wanted me to leave off the property. I said, in order for me to leave off the property, I asked him, I told him, I would leave the property under the threat of arrest. That's what I told him. That's when the supervisor started making some phone calls. Try to figure out what she can do. All right? That's what she was trying to do. She was trying to figure out what she's going to do specifically and everything else before the 5 o'clock deadline. She asked to come up and approached me again, asked me if I can get back a police cruiser. She showed me some pictures that she must have had a friend in the police force or something, of course. And I told her I'd give it a shot. Which the 3 police cars showed up, and I tried to get in the back of the police cruiser. And I did try. And I couldn't fit inside the police cruiser. That's the whole reason of that point. Then after I went to go sit at the outside bench. That's where I come to the point where I started recording on my phone with the whole situation. And I heard them discussing the police in the background. It said people ask, why did they ask for a van? Okay, first off, the van situation, I was hearing them discussing I heard their conversation. I overheard it. They said none of the vans were working or running or functioning. Apparently, they're broken down. I was like, okay. After that, so the security guard. Well, I totally forgot to mention one thing. Before that happened, the police showed. It was like the security guard did put his hands on me, and before when I went outside, he tried to put his hands on me to have me removed off the property. That's another thing I forgot to mention. I was like, no. I told him to get his hands off me. The private security is not supposed to put the hands on you, not whatsoever. It doesn't matter. They're not supposed to put the physical touch you at all, without your permission. So yeah, the security guard is in trouble for that. Should be in trouble for that too. No, I'm not telling that they are not responsible for the transportation whatsoever. So your misunderstanding of that, that's not what you how you got that information or whatever information you got that from. Okay? So basically what it came down after we got after that point about being after we got talked to the supervisor, the police showing up and all that. Got to the bench, then it got to the point where they were out of options, and the security guard approached me, the same security guard put his hands on me, approached me, and I told him, it's like, well, you have to leave the property. I asked him, I will leave this property under threat of arrest, which he did. He threatened arrest on me right there. You see in that video, I did ask that twice. And when he said that, I did willingly leave. They put me in a wheelchair, pushed me out, try to push me out as much as they can to the bus stop. And I said, I have mobility issues, walking issues. I can walk for so long, I can't stand very long. So we got halfway there, and I had to walk the rest of the way because it wasn't working out. As you can tell, I was struggling, and they were struggling to push me out to the bus stop. So, yeah. That's basically what you can see. You basically saw the video at that point. So, all right, that's the whole, again, I did never held the hospital responsible for the transportation whatsoever. I don't know where you got that idea or how you got that idea. I didn't say they're responsible for that whatsoever. I asked for assistance. That's what I asked for. Okay, and again, the hospital called me up. The person in charge, the very big person, is in charge of the whole hospital, completely, whoever you want to say they are. They called me up. They said they was not supposed to do that whatsoever. I was okay to sit there and try to find transportation, which I did right about the time where the person I was trying to get a hold of to get a ride, and they were, when they were pushing me out, my phone dinged from Facebook Messenger. It was the guy it was one of the guys I was trying to get a hold of for transportation, and he was able to provide the transportation home for me. So if they just waited a little bit longer, I would have managed to find a way home. But they should not remove me off the property for any reason. So somebody should get some discipline or whatever for that whole situation. All right, I'm hoping clear this to you, clear to everybody on this. So, my chat. That's okay. So nobody said anything yet. So, all right, let's get to the next person down. What ADA law did they break? Well, one, accommodations is one of them, I think. I'm not a or know all the laws with the ADA thing. But again, there's a couple of them that I know of. I know one of them is accommodations is one of them, and other things. Another thing. I just don't remember off the top of my head. So that's why I need an attorney to discuss that whole situation with, for one. So, no, I don't know for sure which ADA rules they typically broke. But there's a bunch of them in there. It's a lot of writing in there. I tried to go through it myself. It's very confusing. So, my education level, it's very confusing for me. So I do not know what ADA laws they broke, but they did break a couple of them that I know of. Just to let you know. All right. The next that would have been the same as user FM8PM9QU9 whatever. Jeez, get a good username. So again, you got two comments here. Again, I did not hold the hospital responsible for transportation at all. Again, if you don't pay attention to anything you don't pay attention at all. I did not hold them responsible for the transportation or whatever. They should have just let me sit there and try to find transportation. It's not like I'm homeless, people. I'm not homeless. I have a place to go to. I have no reason to stay in the hospital for any reason. So I did not want to stay there. I did not want to stay there for 6 hours. Nobody does. Especially, I have a place to go to. I have shelter. I'm living in my own place, my own apartment, with my cats. I mean, I want to be streaming right now like this. I have my green screen like this. If I didn't have a place to go. It's not like I wanted to stay there. And then you're saying I'd wasted the ambulance time and stuff? No. I had no transportation to get there. So how am I supposed to get to the hospital? For I'm bleeding with a cut. And I'm in a pool of blood. That's a question for you. I'm not entitled to anything. I'm entitled to what my disabilities are. That's the only entitlement I have. I am a grown adult, so what do you mean by that? I do take responsibilities for my own actions. I don't have a car, can't afford a car because I'm on disability. So, I'm not getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in disability every month. I get enough just to cover my rent and a couple bills. That's it. Not enough to cover any vehicle. So, again, for a person, user FM 8 p.m. All right. I think that's the only couple of questions, a couple things I want to redress on my comments on my YouTube channel. So, I'm hoping they see this, but they probably don't care, of course. But the ignorance, people. I mean, I'm going to put another couple of links in a couple other videos you should watch. And a couple people in a similar situation like I was. And got the worst of it. One lady, elderly lady. The one was, she was trespassed off hospital property. And they said she was discharged. Had battery exhausted. So, she was discharged. Saying she didn't need any treatment and everything, and so she went to multiple hospitals from this too, and the last one she went to, and they trespassed her. And the police showed up, tried to put her in the back of a paddy wagon, whatever you want to call it, and she couldn't do it. She wasn't able to. Her mobility issues, breathing issues, asthma, whatever you want to say, she has. So, and then it got to the point they threw her back of a cop car and she suffocated because she wasn't properly upright because of her issues. She was having some medical issues. So she passed away. And another video, another elderly lady trespassed off the property. I guess they stole her cane and everything else. They were claiming, I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, again, there was not much footage of that whole situation. The nurses claim she hit them or some stuff like that, got a little violent with them. I can see if it's, plausible. It probably happened. Who knows? But again, we don't have any proof of that, of course. They had to remove off the property, and she didn't die, but they got to the point she started walking off the property, and she kept on walking. She paused for a minute, and she said something to the cops, and basically whatever. Cops approached her, threw her to the ground, put her in handcuffs, broke her knee, did all that. So yeah, those videos will be at the end of this. So just to let you know, you will see them I'll provide them. Keep an eye out for them. So all right, I don't know much more to say, but again, the hospital did call me up. Apologize. I don't know if the supervisor or the security guard is going to see any discipline or not. I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping they do, because if the security guard didn't put his hands on me, I would not complain about it at all about him. He was just doing his job at that point. But he did put his hands on me, and he shouldn't have put his hands on me. I would have left after a threat of arrest. I would have left willingly, which I did. You saw in that one part of the video. I would have just left willingly, not a problem. But he should not have put his hands on me. So, and the again, the supervisor did that. So, neurodivergent. What do you mean by that, battery? Let me bring up this so you everybody see what he's. Oh, I can't. Duh. I can. Well, I can still do it. I can do it here. Yes, I'm overweight. I have a pituitary adenoma. I have walking issues, stuff like that. Yes. Okay, what the heck? That's not what I want. No, I have no anxiety. I have no anxiety. Issues like that. Not sure exactly, but there's a couple times it makes me wonder. But again, I had a situation. I was shaking like crazy. Didn't know what the heck was going on. And I had the ambulance come up and I couldn't figure out what's going on. I was shaking really bad. No other. They checked my blood pressure and everything was fine, and there was no explanation of it. For some reason I was shaking really bad. Probably because I was asking for them to help go get the staff. Because they were right there, and and again, they're there. I know they're there to help keep the place secure, but they do help people. They do help patients when they come in. I know they're there to help keep the place secure. They do help, but assist people in wheelchairs. They do help stuff people. Like that. But again, they're not obligated. I know they're there to help keep the place secure. But assist people in wheelchairs. No reason at all. Stuff like that. But again, they're not obligated. I asked for politely that he help me out, get some nurse or somebody, talk to somebody who's obligated, find transportation home. That was it. But he was saying, being totally rude. And I said, I'm covered with a sheet, practically my balls hanging out with my shorts, and I'm worried about my sheet falling off me. And I said, walking across and again, I would have to go through the metal detectors, all this other crap, just get into the other side of my sheet. Yeah. So I don't know why he was being cross with me whatsoever. I don't understand why. It made no sense. I'm usually, when it comes to it, I'll give back what you give to me. That's basically what it boils down to. It made no sense. I'm usually, when it comes to it, I'll give back what you give to me. That's basically what he had no reason to be rude to me. As I said, he was only a couple of feet away from the main desk to ask somebody. He had no reason to be rude to me. As I said, he was only a couple of feet away from the sounds like it has gone funny now. Okay. So, I have no clue. As I said, all I was trying to do is find transportation. Again, I was not holding the hospital responsible to find me transportation. I was asking for help to find transportation. Totally different things. That's That's why I was asking for a social worker or a patient advocate. That's why I was asking for a social worker or a patient advocate. Like feedback, okay. So that's what I was asking for. Was that? So I was asking for a social worker or a patient advocate. That's all I was asking for. Because it got to the point where I was not able to find a ride. It was like I was like totally lost. Like I said, I tried my insurance company, I tried Uber, tried Lyft, tried family. That was it. And it got to the point where I was like, well, I was just don't know what to do. I was like at this point, I'm stuck at a hospital, there for about 6 hours, have no way to get home. And again, I have no reason to stay there for any reason. I'm not seeking shelter because I have my own home. No reason to stay there. I'm not seeking shelter. I'm not homeless. So that's another thing. They probably had people come in and try to do that. I wouldn't doubt that. But again, don't make assumptions of it possibly that's not the case. So I don't know if that's what they're assuming. You know, I'm making assumptions too at that point. So kind of a, let's say, a hypocrite deal. But again, I said, after I got done with the supervisor, I just told her to go away. That's all I wanted her to do because I wasn't getting nowhere with her. I told her just go away. So I was getting so frustrated with everything that was going on because I couldn't get a social worker or a patient advocate or anything to help me to assist what I was trying to find, help me get home. That's why I was like dealing with my insurance company after they screwed up of my transportation, and then trying to get Uber. Couldn't get Uber to do it, can't get Lyft to do it, and I tried to call a couple other places. They didn't be able to do it. Family, one of my family members didn't take it seriously enough. I think it's because it was to the point it was going to get trespassed off hospital property. He didn't think I was just lying and joking about it. Quite literally. I had no reason to lie to my uncle for any of that reason. And he didn't take it seriously. So I don't know. I don't know if you can watch the video or not. What's happened. You think something doesn't happen like that. And he tried to claim it was like public property. It's not public property. It's private property. I knew it was private property. I wasn't arguing about that being private property. It was private property. I knew it was private property. But again, all they had to do is like just leave me alone to that point. They would have gone a ride. Eventually, it did. I was like, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do. I was totally lost. Nobody was willing to come and get me to help me. So I was like, for 6 hours, stuck there trying to find a way home. So, oh yeah, that's another thing. They had the hospital itself had a bus there. And they knew it was struggling just to find a ride in the lobby there. By the time they even mentioned the bus at the hospital thing, the transportation they had to provide people, again, like me, it was too late when they mentioned it. I was like, a little late. Yeah, it was a little late to mention it because they were closed after the fact. Yeah. And they knew I was struggling in the lobby. They were trying to find transportation. Yeah, that was another thing too. But yeah. And another thing, the ambulance. Apparently, I didn't meet the requirements to get a ride home from the ambulance. I wasn't on an oxygen tank or bedridden, or that's what the excuses they gave me. Is what they said. One time I was given a ride home by ambulance. One time. It was a long time ago. But again, I didn't meet the requirements then. So I don't know what changed there. Probably because they didn't want to lift me up in the back of the ambulance for one. I am 700 pounds. So, probably the reason why they didn't want to do that. I don't know. Maybe. So, I said, I tried to get back up a cop car. That didn't work. It couldn't fit. And you can see in my one video I showed you with the stuff they provided. You see how big I was. You know, about it, man. Again, I'm not holding the hospital responsible for transportations. I was asking for assistance. So, asking for assistance and holding somebody responsible is totally two different things. So I wasn't holding the hospital responsible to get me a ride home. It's totally two different things. So I don't know what to say. Like there's only been one person here at battery. I'm about ready to get off right now and probably play some Fortnite here. But at least I got everybody updated on what's going on, and I'm still trying to pursue the again, they were trying to smooth things over with me. You know, if they just hold the supervisor and the security guard accountable, I would just let it go. Other than that, yeah. As I said, all they had to do to that point, I got so frustrated with her, the supervisor. I told her to just go away, leave me alone, let me do my thing, try to get her right home. I was getting nowhere with her and everything else. So that's what I did. I told her that. Just go away. I was about ready to blow up. So I was trying to hold everything back. Trust me, I didn't want to blow up on somebody and really make it scene. That's why I wanted just her to go away. I got to that point. I know it's not real nice about it, but again, I was frustrated and I wanted her to just go away. So I was getting nowhere with it. But alright. I might go live again for the game, playing the game. I'm not sure yet, but that's about it, everybody. Well, at least you got no idea and updated what's going on. Again, I can't find an attorney to go take this on yet. I'm still struggling trying to find one. So, I haven't totally decided to not do it or not. As I said, they did call. The person who was in charge did call, saw the video, and did apologize, and never was not supposed to go that way whatsoever. And she knew it was wrong. So, alright, I'm hoping to answer your question. Again, I'll probably do another one again if we get more comments on my YouTube channel. But that's about it all. Alright, I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.